My name is Vicki Watkins, and I am the author of the book Loving Me. It is my autobiography on my childhood, on overcoming child abuse, domestic violence, and incest, on rebuilding my life. And I wrote it hopefully to bring hope to other people and help them have a new beginning, and that they know there's resources out there too that can help them. My very first childhood memory that I have is my father was an alcoholic, an abusive alcoholic, and he tried to kill my mom on several different occasions. And the very first childhood memory that I have is I'm about 3 or 4 years old, and my mom is making me a scrambled egg, and my father comes in with a knife, and he's very drunk, and he's dragging her into the bedroom and he's going to kill her. And I think the reason I remember that so much is because she was crying, screaming, and he was yelling, and as a child I felt very frightened. And that was the beginning of fear in my life. It was a stronghold of fear that began, and that's how my childhood was from the first memory that I have. So I write in my book about memories that I have and different incidents that occurred, things that we went through. When I wrote the book, I had to look back at some things, and my baby book, I found my baby book, and my mother had written, and there's a section in my baby book that says comments. And most people have a baby book, and under the comments, the mom or dad will say, "Oh, she's so pretty," or "She looks like, my husband," or something. But in my baby book, my mother had wrote "ugliest kid I've ever seen," and my father wrote "really ugly one this time." So I think that I started out in life feeling insecure and having fear. And my mom was broken. By the time I came along, she had been in a domestic violent relationship for many, many years. I have an older brother, an older sister. My oldest brother is 15 years older than me. So I was a surprise that came almost 14 years after my sister, and I know that I wasn't wanted, and because of the situation in our home life, I was another, oh my gosh, here we go again. And I know my father was, he's very violent and abusive, so he didn't really care either. But when I read that in my baby book, I started to think that this kind of tells the story, or the beginning of the story, on how it feels to come into the world and know that maybe at the time you were not wanted or cherished or loved, and then it got worse from there. And so that's what my book is about. I struggled for many years wondering why me, or why did this happen? And it was a process. It was a process of healing and understanding, and then eventually I even got to the part where I could forgive my parents for the abuse, or for maybe the neglect, because I understood their own stories and their own backgrounds. Not that I excused the behavior, but it's kind of a release for me. I don't carry that anger or that bitterness anymore. Just looking in this photo album of me, and when I was a baby, and not only have I survived the child abuse and the domestic violence and stuff, but I've had my share, or what I think is my share, of health issues too. I've had 2 brain tumor surgeries. Both tumors were benign, thank God, but my first tumor that I had was when I was 15 months old, and you can kind of see here in my baby pictures that here I am in Children's Hospital. I was there 31 days, and I think of my mom. Not only did she have the burden of having an abusive husband, being in an extreme violent domestic violence situation, and poverty, because my father never worked or held a job or provided for us, but she also had a sick baby that was 15 months old that had a brain tumor removed. There is hope. There was a time that I I doubted that. There was a time I didn't know there was hope. And so if someone's suffering out there or going through an illness or an abusive situation, I hope my book just helps them know that there's a chance for a new beginning, and there's hope, and it's out there, and I want them to know that they're loved, that they're really loved. God loves you, and there's people out there that will come into your life that will love you unconditionally, and I think that's what I wanted my message to be most of all.